And good morning. I hit the right camera now. How are you today? We certainly hope good after my incident yesterday of not having a microphone on late yesterday. I learned from my mistakes. How are you this morning? Not near as cold as we thought. 36 this morning as you're waking up. We'll have details on the forecast here in just a few moments as we dive deep into that cold weather that is expected later this week. Brr. Now, I'm not ready for summertime just yet, but I'd like it to stay 40-ish at least.
Yeah, I can deal with that.
I can deal with 40. It's when you get below that, my teeth chatter, that I have issues. How are you today? Certainly hope good. We got a lot to talk about. What went on in the nation yesterday, lots to talk about that. And plus, we have a lot going on locally when we get into the 7 o'clock hour. Special guest, we'll find out all about Collinsville and what's coming up with the parade on Saturday night. Are you going to be there? Should be fun. Hope you will. We'll get that all from Tony and the gang as the Collinsville Volunteer Fire Department joins us this morning. Let's go on out to Collinsville now that we're talking about them and get that message. Let's go to First Baptist.
Today we continue the second week of the Advent season with our focus on peace. And for many of us, that means we get to exercise our language muscles and sing a little Latin. Whether it be Bing Crosby's Adeste Fideles, or the longest sung word in the history of all mankind, Gloria in excelsis Deo. These four Latin words, Gloria in excelsis Deo, used of course in the hymn Angels We've Heard on High, but also is an ancient Christian hymn fragment dating back to antiquity. They're adapted from the Latin Vulgate, the Latin translation of the Bible translated originally by St. Jerome, beginning in the year 382. The words come from Luke 2:13 and 14, which most of us are familiar with. After the angel speaks to the shepherds, the Bible says that suddenly there was a great multitude of the heavenly host with the angel praising God and saying, Gloria in altissimis Deo et in terra pax in hominibus bone voluntatis. Or in the English, glory to God in the highest heaven and peace on earth to people he favors. Unlike his earthly arrival, a lowly, humble, meek birth, the angel and the heavenly host gloriously proclaim that Christ has arrived. Glory to God, peace on earth. Peace has arrived through the birth of Christ. As the Christmas hymn by Charles Wesley says, peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. My prayer is that you would welcome the peace of Christ this season brings, and you would reflect on your reconciliation with God, which, apart from Christ, would never be attained. May you be blessed this Advent season. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Welcome back. As temperatures are rising, we're up to 39. A cool 36 when I got here earlier this morning. So we're 3 degrees warmer as we head for a high of about 55 today. Now tomorrow may shake you a little bit. We're going to get into the 60s. And as Odie and I were talking a moment ago, it's going to really be bad with sinuses for people. This change of weather, and I've had people always tell me, oh, the weather has nothing to do with it. Well, how come I get sick when it gets cold? I'm going to stick to my guns on that. But as we get this day underway there, expect some colder weather, up and down temperatures as we do that. Let's get into a few headlines that are starting to shape America this morning as we get out and about. And let me show you this. This is coming out today. Maybe you want a copy of it. I didn't realize that he had just finished a book right before he was murdered, assassinated. As we pull this up for you to see, Charlie Kirk's new book is coming out today. Stop in the Name of God. Don Jr. put that out there to remind everybody that it is hitting bookshelves today. I didn't realize he had just finished another book. So if you get a chance, read that. Maybe I'm sure they've got it in the audio version somewhere. If you'd rather hear that, sometimes it is hard to see those little words in a book. As we were discussing age earlier before we went live. I put this in the headline of a description of things that we were going to talk about today. This guy he had won a Grammy for his music, one of those behind-the-scene type people. He was out walking his dog. His name was Roderick McLeod. Walking his dog, and he was struck and killed by someone driving a car. And what gets into this is as you go back and look at the arrest report, she'd been arrested 100 times before. Why is this person still out on the streets? That's sad. A man lost his life walking his dog. A mother and grandmother have been arrested as we go to this next headline. San Antonio, Texas, after a 2-year-old was found wandering alone in the woods. Someone not taking care of the children. You know, that's happened here. I want to say it was the same child that was found, this has been a couple years ago, walking in front of Meridian High School. Do y'all remember that? I never did get a clear answer as to what happened to that. But a 2-year-old in diapers, I remember it well, about 2 years ago, wandering down the middle of the street there by Meridian High. It happens all across the nation. And I bring that up is because I never got an answer from the previous administration as to what happened with that. Grab your $2 or $5, whichever you want to put it into it. It's up to, Odie, have you heard this? $930 million is what we're up to. Jackpot winner declared.
If I call in the morning.
But it's 930. Somebody, that is $930 million.
Yeah,
It's going to sell a few more.
100 million cash.
And what's bad about that is if you take that cash settlement, it basically cuts it in half. And then after you take half, then the U.S. government takes another half. It's still a lot of money. It's just sad that you could start out with nearly $1 billion and end up, by the time taxes are done, with maybe $2 million or $200 million. Somewhere in that neighborhood. That's just a raw guess. But you get tore up on these things.
You walk out, that right there, you'll walk out with about 400.
And you never hear about what happens to the extra money if someone takes the cash payout. Because there's still that you would have earned if you'd taken it over the course of it. What do they do with this money? We're still broke in the state of Mississippi.
You got to pay the ping pong puller.
The ping pong pool. He's making a lot of money. But it really seems that as much money is dumped into these things, we could pay off some things nationwide as well. But I don't know. Just my two thoughts there. Here's a headline from the New York Post. It must have been true love. I feel it from here. It says, Mom has left her husband of 14 years for her soulmate, only to be rejected after she left her husband.
Oh, should have done that first.
That was not smart. My, oh, my, oh, my. What else is happening this morning? This is one of those big headlines here. The D.C. police chief, first time we've had a female, I think, as the police chief of D.C., has resigned. It's amid the homicide data manipulation investigation that's going on. Another news source will list it because the current mayor is not going to seek re-election, so she's going ahead and resigning. You fill it in, figure it out which one is true. I'll leave it at that. Elon, I truly, and I put this also in the headlines describing this morning, I agree with Elon on this. Who else does? It rattles my soul. I'm really an American. By the grace of God, you've heard it all your life. You were born in the South. And it tends to give you more meaning of life and pride. Being from the South, it does. And I'm not running anybody down from the North, but we tend to stick together. If somebody picks on your cousin, you take up for them down here. But he is saying that anybody that raises a foreign flag on American soil should be deported. And what I mean by that is all these that are coming from other countries that raise that flag up in these cities from another country on American soil. He's saying get rid of them, deport them. What say you? I think I tend to agree with him.
It depends on where it's at.
Just in your bedroom, you can do it.
The American flag is on top. I can deal with some of that.
I don't know that I can, Odie.
But if that's the only flag you got, you can go back.
Well, that's what city was at a few weeks ago that was going to raise the Palestinian flag, and we see this a lot on school campuses where they do that. I'm not for that. The American flag should be first, regardless. Now, if you've got some other flag that is of state flags and sorority, so what? But I'm talking
under the American.
It goes under it. But I'm saying when it comes to a foreign flag, that should not be flown here. That just I'm touchy on that. real big time. Let's see here. Florida, as they get on this. DeSantis has been busy. Santa DeSantis. Florida has designated the Muslim Brotherhood and the Council on American Islamic Relations, which is known as CAIR, C-A-I-R, as foreign terrorist organizations in the state of Florida. Pushback coming. Ron is all over this. As we stay on this theme of, and I know you saw this headline of a college student. College student deported to Honduras. Here's the rest of that headline. She's going to be reunited with her parents because they were also deported. And they go, oh, wait a minute, you can't say. Well, the entire group were illegal here is why they got deported. And this is how headlines, as we stay on this deportation and people that aren't American that are here illegally, the headline from, I think it was NBC that put this, ICE has arrested nearly 75,000 people with no criminal records. They left out the part that they weren't American citizens and were here illegally. Now, admittedly, when they started that, they said they were going to start with the most criminal in the beginning, taking those out, and then would move on down the list. And apparently they're getting to that, to where 75,000 have been arrested, being here illegally. Apps, they're very handy, are they not? But what happens when you use an app to harm police? And I say harm police, ICE. The developers of the ICE blocker, which tracked where police were, are suing Trump because they had it removed from cell phones. Is that right? It could have caused harm to... Y'all figured that out, but that is happening nationwide. You should know about it there. 12 former FBI agents that took a knee during a protest in 2020 are suing because they lost their jobs. Let's go to Florida. It was 1989. A guy was hired to come in and redo some cabinets at a house. Kind of like a handyman thing. He finished the job. A few months later, he bumped into the lady that he had done the work for, and she made a comment that her husband was out of town. We saw our kid over there playing at the video machine in 1989. He walks in and goes, hey, when your dad going to be home? He recognized him. He said, oh, it'll be next Saturday. Well, the guy that done the carpentry work broke into their home, killed their mother. This was 1989. The child would find the mother. He's sentenced to die next Friday.
What took so
Some 35 years later, he will make the 44th person this year in the U.S. of A. to face execution. He will be the 18th in the state of Florida. Now, let me do the arithmetic. We've got 44 nationwide, 18 out of Florida. We got some states aren't holding up their end of the bargain, are they? That's why we have all this 30, 35 years that have been sentenced. That woman had no chance. How sad it is.
You know, pay-per-view will get all of us out of debt.
Oh, that would. And there used to be deterrents in America to where you saw what happened if you broke the law. We don't no longer have that, and criminals look at things as, well, I'll get out of it because of the increased, well, y'all know this, attorneys that get them out of anything. If you show them, as ICE is doing, if you make a mistake, and if you show that there are arrests for what you do is wrong, people tend to stop. I was going to talk about her, but she's not really worth talking about. She scared me. It was a judge that has made a ruling. Here's something that I didn't know you could do. Maybe Odie did it, maybe knew this, and maybe somebody in law enforcement knew this. Porch pirates. They're taking your packages after you order them from Amazon or wherever it is, Sears, and it arrives at your house. Okay, Sears was a bad example.
Yeah.
Walmart, we'll word it that way. But they have a device now that jams Wi-Fi, and as they approach your porch, they turn it on, and it kills your cameras to record them stealing. Pretty smart for the criminal, is it not? As we have said many times, criminals aren't dumb. They're lazy and don't want to work. And they'll spend all day trying to figure out how not to work. Wi-Fi jammers.
Have hardwired cameras.
Hardwired cameras, that would work. But it's so easy, and most homes have this, and criminals have caught on to this. Now, I'm not trying to give them heads
Well,
up.
they already know.
They're not up yet. They're sleeping from last night's work right now. They'll join us later this afternoon. Oh my. I don't think that's going to happen. We'll skip that. Oh, Texas. Pharmacists, I didn't almost say that right, did I? Have the approval now to sell over-the-counter ivermectin. There's a lot of people who are going to take that. Now, it doesn't say you shall, so it gives the pharmacist the right to choose whether or not they want to or not. But they can now in the state of Texas. Anybody, and I say this, I'm not poking fun of you if you do this. I just do not. And none of my close friends watch the Olympics, the Winter Olympics. It's kind of like going to the cab on a Saturday night and watching that Buick where somebody picked rust off of it. It's boring to me. But I understand that there's other people that may enjoy the Winter Olympics. The problem is, for the Milan, Rome, where they're going to be holding this, only about half the tickets have been pre-sold. Normally, it's a big sellout for these things. Only about half of it. Other people may love it. Again, Alana Habba, you remember her? President Trump's pick there for New Jersey attorney. She has officially been removed. She's resigned. They voted that to be not legal. This is a pretty good thing. I don't know if Mississippi, usually what Texas does, you'll see drift to Louisiana, to Mississippi, and then on to Alabama. It just kind of goes across here. Turning Point plans to launch a plan to have chapters in each high school across the great state of Texas. Will the rest of the South follow? We'll see. But that is in the works there. New York, and I hope this is true, that no one has manipulated numbers. This is the longest record. They've tied it, the longest record stretch for lack of homicide in New York. They went nearly, I think, 3 weeks. From November the 20th, no, it wasn't that long. November the 25th through December the 7th. They didn't have a homicide during that. They have now had one. And again, I hope no one's manipulating that. It's a bunch of things that happened in that city there. Let's see what else we got going on this morning. Miss Jamaica, we showed the clip there. You remember when she was on the runway and she fell off? She just walked off and fell. She is still recovering. She is going to be going home to be with her family to fully recover from that. Could have been worse. She's had some internal injuries. Let's see what we've got here. Didn't work out well. Where was this? This is South Carolina. Now, we've seen arrests. I've heard of it a lot in Kemper County where people try to bring in products to prisoners at a prison and they drop them from a drone. Somebody was trying to deliver them a Christmas meal. No, I'm not kidding. Steaks, crab legs, and they dropped them. Only problem was the security guard found it first.
And he ate good.
Do you think I'd hate that? Ooh. It was all still in the package from Walmart or wherever they bought it. I mean, ground beef, it was steaks, and they dropped the whole bag in there. You would think that a prison would have some type of detection that would let them know that a drone is approaching. Maybe that's something that hadn't been invented yet.
Well,
has that been invented, Odie? Or is it just at airports and things?
But they've got homemade drones that are undetectable.
Homemade drones that are undetectable. Well, we need to make one.
It'd be nice. Wouldn't it?
Hurry, Odie, make one for us. I didn't know you could do that. I'm learning. Japan, a 7.5 magnitude earthquake. If there's a silver lining in this, it's only 33 people injured. I didn't say deaths. I said injured. That's what you can take away that's good out of that. Jeff said go to Tractor Supply and get your ivermectin. You can. There's a lot of people who do that. Let's see here. Minnesota. Oh, we got New Orleans. And this is the difference in New Orleans and anywhere else. The state, basically, Louisiana, is run by Republican. and they do agree with abiding by the laws on immigration. The city of New Orleans typically does not. Little push and tug there as ICE agents descend upon New Orleans to straighten out things that are going on there. We'll be right back with your weather forecast. Already 6:50 this morning. We'll be back with that forecast in just a second here at the Scotty Ray Report.
On a hot day chasing crime in Meridian, to make a man thirsty, there's no better way than an ice-cold Coca-Cola to quench your thirst.
Or an ice-cold Diet Coke if you prefer that flavor.
No matter where you're at, stop by a local store and support that store and Meridian Coca-Cola. They're supporting us every day.
The Scotty Ray Report studio is sponsored by Environment Masters, providing hassle-free heating and cooling, plumbing, and electrical services since 19...
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
As we glance at radar this morning, we do show fog out to our west. If you're headed I-20 and get near Monroe, Louisiana, it's going to be pretty bad all the way to Tyler, Texas there. Texarkana, even thicker there to see that Coors beer. Lufkin, Texas, we got a little bit as well. A small amount there in the southwest corner of Mississippi due south of Natchez around Woodville. If you're traveling Highway 61, you're going to get into a little fog there this morning. Birmingham as well. So that's what we've got there. Now let's get a little deeper into our forecast and see what it has to bring today. Our record highs and lows. 1972, it was 81 today. Burr for 1917, 15 degrees on this date. That was a cold one, was it not? As we glance across this, 55 for Meridian. We'll see 52 in Columbus for today. And 49 right there around the Tennessee border of Mississippi and Tennessee. 56 down in Natchez, and we'll see 55 at Gulfport this morning. What's happening tonight? Not so bad. 36 for a low. We'll see 37 in Philadelphia. We'll see that as well through Louisville. We'll see that in Columbus as well. 39 there around Iuka. We'll see about 40 in Vicksburg for an overnight low. Is what we've got. Now let's see what's going on here. This is what's expected over the next 6 to 10 days. Look at that temperature out west. Now, it hadn't made it here. We're kind of normal here as we'll see some 50s and 60s start to move back into the forecast. As we roll into this 7-day forecast, here's what we've got. Down to 36 tonight, 55 for a high today. But look at the temperature warm up here. 64 tomorrow. And that's where we all start getting sick, isn't it? 34 tomorrow night, 58 on Thursday. As the weekend comes about, it's going to be perfect for these parades. 65 on Friday with a low of 39. 60 on Saturday, basically, at 59. No chances of rain with a low of 39 that night. Maybe nippy on a float. As we get into Sunday, headed off to church, we're going to see 58 for a high, somewhere around 38 that night. And by Monday, we're still at 59, 60. The outlook to December the 23rd. Not big changes at all. Nighttime lows will average about 45. During the daytime, around 60 is what we'll see. Anywhere from 55 to 60. Not horrible weather. Slight chances of rain as we near Christmas Eve. Here's what we've got when it comes to fishing today. It's not going to be bad. Major fishing times today begin at 3:34 until about 5:30 there from Parker's Wholesale. A minor time will be this morning around 10 till noon if you're going to be out and about there. As we look at our hunting forecast today from Wimberley Taxidermy, sunrise 6:54 this morning. Sunset will be right around 4:49 this afternoon. As we have an average day of hunting, it's just the best we can come up with. It's going to be a calm wind coming southwest around 5 this afternoon. Not bad to climb a tree. Major times to fish is to hunt is 3:31 to 5:31. Now you've got another chance from 10:31 until 11:30. So an early midday hunt is what will be good there as well. And that's your average day of deer hunting now. As we looked at radar, we know what's coming up. A nice day, but still cool at the present time. 39. You'll want to warm up your car. Make sure you got those heated seats on. We'll be back in just a moment as we'll kick into the morning show. Already 6:54 this morning. Matthew, good morning. Diane, good to see you. Miss Donna is joining us. Miss LaWanda. We'll see you back in just a few moments. There's lots that went on last night. We'll tell you all about that at the top of the hour. Join us, won't you?